Slime everybody, I am Corvus Bruxu Luggenikos and this is Starting Out Solitary. It's been a long time no see. I'm really sorry for not having been here in it was like a month or so, because my previous laptop basically died off and I had to buy a new one, but I'm finally here. I'm so glad to be back, and this week's question is about ways to hide your craft, tricks to hide your craft. About hiding your craft, first of all, if you have to hide your craft for any reason, that's shitty. I'm sorry about that. The first advice that I can give you is analyze your own situation. Why do you want to hide your craft, and where do you live? Do you live alone or with other people, etc.? If you live on your own in your own house and you want to hide your craft from people that come in, you can just set an altar room or a working room or a magical room, you get me? And that room would be forbidden for guests, and that's it. That's pretty simple. If you live with flatmates or anything like that, you can set an altar or whatever you want in your room, and you can put lock and key or anything like that, so your flatmates won't be able to enter your room without permission, and when you're away as well. Finally, if you live at home with, say, your parents, that's a bigger issue. First of all, again, analyze your situation. If you're at real risk of getting kicked out or anything like that, I know American parents can be very, very fundamentalist in some areas. So if you're at risk of any kind, please don't do anything at home. That's my main advice. Don't do anything at home. Anything you have to do it outside in the woods or wherever you practice outside of your home or your room. Don't try to sneak in objects or things. If you're at real risk, please be safe. But if you don't suffer that risk but you still want to hide your craft, you can use minor things. Candles are things that people usually don't look over as suspicious, but if you live in an area or in a culture in which candles would be suspicious, use particularly aromatic candles. If you use aromatic candles, you could say it's for the scent. So buy scented candles with the scent of the purpose that you want to use in your magic, or a scent that's pleasant to the god that you're worshipping at the moment. Same with incense. About divine images, that's a little bit more complicated. So you can use these images of a saint or of a virgin that you know that maybe historically has overlapped with a previous spirit or fairy figure or god. For example, in northern Spain, there's a virgin that's called the Virgin of the Rivers. She's taken to the cross of rivers and worshipped there on specific dates, and it is believed that this virgin could have absorbed many of the traits of a previous goddess, a goddess of rivers from the northern area too, that is called Navia. She's very important to me, she's very dear to me. My grandfather is also from the north, and I had a virgin for sometimes the image of that virgin, and said that it was because my grandfather was Asturian and that virgin was important in Asturias. Because my mom had this thing, she's an atheist, but she thought that if I performed spells and things like that, I was going crazy. So I hid from her for a couple of years or so, and I said that yeah, I don't believe in God and in the Virgin and stuff, but this Virgin is important in Asturias culture, so I want to have her here. So I pray to her, to the Virgin, not as Virgin Mary of the rivers, but as Navia, the Baji of the dead. So that's another thing that you can do. You can take a socially or culturally accepted image that you know may have many traits in common with God or goddess that you're worshipping and have it there. Use only things that you can't throw away easily or that is consumed. Don't make like big bottles of oils or anything like that, because that will be noticed. But if you need to do something, do like little amounts of oil, of black salt, of anything that you need for the moment you need it. And the moment you need it again, then you do it again. Don't preserve it, because they won't go unnoticed, especially things like black salt. For the tools, you can use substitutes. For example, you don't need to have a traditional a thummy. You can simply bless a knife anytime you need to work with a knife ritually, and then you desecrate it again, and when you need a knife again, you consecrate a new knife, you work with it, and you desecrate it again and put it back in the kitchen. And I don't think I can add up much more, because I haven't had to hide my craft for a long time. By the time that I was hiding from my mom, it wasn't exactly my craft, it was my religion more than my craft. So I didn't have like salt and oils and herbs and sigils to hide. Oh, in the case of sigils, if you design the sigils yourself, you could use sigils that uses culturally accepted symbols within them, like crosses or things like that. Of course, lie anything you need. It's better to be safe and lying than truthful and be harmed. That's for sure. Our ancestors lied to religious authorities all of the time because they were at risk. And you, if you're at risk, you are perfectly condoned to lie to your parents, to your church authorities if you're forced to go to church, or even to legal authorities if they will put the focus on you, if they're not professional enough to ignore your beliefs. And yeah, now for real, that's all. I don't think I really don't think that I can add up much more. But tell us your tips and tricks and advices for hiding your craft in whatever situation. I said very general ones, but I hope this can be of help to anybody that can be in any of these situations. Like if you liked the video, and we'll see each other next week. Bye!